One, it's like unwritten rules. So this is unwritten cultural rules about going places that you might not think about. So we have like the unwritten rules of going to France and Germany, these things. We got those. And then I've done all these like what to know before you go, but I'm like, you know what? What do I wish I would have known before I went? So instead of the general, like, here's the money, do you need a visa? Here's the transportation. It's like, oh yeah, I wish I would have known when I went to Portugal that nothing they put on the plate is free. So if they put bread in front of you, you're literally paying for every piece. Every pat of butter, you're paying for that. Like, oh, right.
Every time you land somewhere new, there's a fork in the road. You can be that tourist who's confused and unintentionally rude, or the traveler who blends in, connects, and gets welcomed in. The difference isn't the itinerary or your passport. It's the tiny mindset shifts, how you approach planning for the trip, and how you handle the unexpected. In this episode, I mind blend with Mark Wolters from Wolters World. His travel don'ts videos have saved millions of us from awkward moments. If you want your next trip to be smoother and kinder to the people who live there, keep listening. Welcome to the show, Mind Blend. I'm your host, Karen Chong, and I'll be diving into the minds of incredible people, each an expert in their very own way. Together, we'll uncover insights and share ideas so you can be inspired and empowered to navigate your own unique journey in life. Ready to get curious and discover what's possible? Let's blend. Today, I'm joined by Mark Wolters of Wolters World, best known for travel content that goes beyond Instagrammable spots. We're talking about honest, practical advice, the kind that can save you money, time, and sometimes even keep you out of trouble. If you're a travel enthusiast, you probably already know Mark. I've been following him for years, and I always watch his video before I travel somewhere new. In fact, I just came back from Berlin this morning, and yes, I did watch his video before I went, so the timing couldn't be better. Hi, Mark. Welcome to Mind Blend.
Hey, Karen. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for the very nice, kind words.
A lot of people who will recognize you when they see your name, and I discovered you through your travel videos, obviously. But I'm not the only one, given your millions of followers. But maybe not that many people know that you are also a marketing professor.
Yep. YouTube doesn't pay all the bills. You got to have a day job too. So yes, I'm a marketing professor as my day job.
How did you, what inspired you to start your travel content?
So I remember it well. I was in Italy, and I'd made videos before. Like I'd made videos for my wife, who was then my fiance. I was making she's going to move to Portugal, so I was making learn Portuguese videos for her. And then I was teaching in Portugal, and not all my students were fantastic English, so I was doing summary videos of topics for class. So I was doing that. But when I decided to really go into the Wolters world, no, I got to make this on content. We're doing this. I was in Italy, and I got a guidebook, and the guidebook made every city sound amazing. You're like, oh, the greatest thing is this. It's the new Prague. It's the Paris of the North. All this stuff, all the things. And I remember I went to this one place. I got the book, and I was reading through it. I'm like, wow, this town sounds fantastic. And it was in Italy, and my friends, their families have been in this region for, I don't know, 500, 600 years. None of them had ever gone there. I'm like, that should have been a red flag. But they're like, man, this book makes it sounds amazing. They're like, Mark, you go, because I was there on vacation. So Mark, you go during the week. If it's good, we'll go on the weekend as well. And so I go, and they're like, oh, the Palazzo is amazing. The museum is world class. Oh, you'll feel like you're in old world Europe when you're at the market. Yeah. The Palazzo was under construction. The museum didn't really have anything there. And then the old world market, it was a farmer's market on Saturday only. It was a parking lot. I'm like, oh, come on. And that's really what it hit me, that there's a lot of creators out there that, they'll get paid to say this is the best place to go. And they'll get paid to say nice things. I'm like, this isn't right. Because at the time, it was many, many years ago. And I was thinking of my friends in the US who had maybe 2 weeks vacation a year, if they had time for that. And maybe they get to go to Europe once in their life. And I was thinking, I was thinking of my aunt who went to Europe once in her life. And if she would have read that book, she would have thought she needed to spend 3 days in that town. And I'm like, 10-day vacation, 3 days in that town, 30% of your once in a life vacation is wasted because somebody was overinflating how this place was. I'm like, this isn't right. Like, this is not right. And so that moment on, I was like, I'm going to make honest. I mean, I wasn't making bad travel. I was like, I'm going to focus on making
Mhm.
content so people know the good and the bad of going places. And that's what I really focused on. And that's what we did. And it's funny because like when we started and we started doing videos, I remember people going, dude, who's going to listen to like a bald fat guy? You know, like how are you going to beat these like women in bikinis and these guys that look so good? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna make content that I would like to know. Like, I don't have time to watch 100 videos. So if I can watch one or two that's going to help me with that destination, great. And so I started doing that and really focus on the like. It started off with the 5 love and hates, but then it's more
Mhm.
things. But it was really like I just want people like if you only got time to watch one video, you can watch our video. You'll be ready. You'll know the sites, what to watch out for, and so you can be a good tourist. So that was my big thing. But I was just thinking back to that like that book, going that is just not that's not fair. It's not fair to other people. So that's why I really focused on the honest travel stuff.
Do you remember what town that was?
Yes, I do. And it's no longer than the guidebooks at all. So I think people probably
Uh,
complained about it enough that I was like, eh.
mhm.
Basically, if you'd go there, it would be like, here's where Vigo. It would be like a ninth tier Italian village to visit. Like on your
Nice here.
17th trip to Italy, you can pass by.
Mhm.
So
Would
yeah.
you say that was influenced a little bit by your being a professor, like education background?
Oh, yeah. I think yeah, because that's one of those things. As being a professor, I always want people to learn. I want to help people grow. Have a better
Mhm.
experience. And I can tell when I look at other content creators, like a lot of them are travel influencers. You're like, oh, look at me doing these things. Look at me doing this. Here's me having my coffee here. Here's me. And I'm more like, hey, here's what you need to know. And so I
Mhm.
actually would like to say I'm more of a travel educator. So like
Mhm.
people, like
Yeah.
you said, you watched my Berlin video before you went to Berlin.
Mhm.
And that's my stuff. It's like, look, I'm okay that people don't subscribe. I'm like, just what if you're going to go to a place, just look up Walters World, the destination, and then if I have a video, it's going to help you out, and that's fine because I know not everybody wants to watch. I mean, we all want to eat 3 times a day, and we would entertain 24 hours a day, but we
No, you
travel
mean 5 when you're traveling.
yeah 2 or 3 times a year. So I want to educate you for that little part of your life. If I can help out, I'm cool
Mhm.
with that.
Mhm. Yeah, the one of the most useful one was, like, Germans don't jaywalk. Like,
Oh,
I tend to not jaywalk, but funny enough, London, people only jaywalk.
oh yeah,
When it turns red, they go.
yeah.
So that
Yeah, I
was
mean,
really useful.
it's
Thank you
funny
very
because like
much.
now sometimes I'll get comments like Jeremy like we jaywalk all the time. I'm like, no, no, you jaywalk twice in your life and you're like a rebel. No, no, it's not. Because I used to live in Germany. I mean, literally, I'd have people like hand across my chest. No, you can't cross. It's red. I'm like, there's literally no car at all. They're like, no, no, we'll wait. So I try to be a good person now and wait all the time.
Mhm. How many years have you been doing travel videos?
So I think the Walters World channel started in April of 2009. And I had a
Okay.
channel before where I was doing like stuff to help my wife with the language stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and then my students was probably started in 2008.
Mhm.
So I've been going for what, 17
Oh,
years?
wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, hold on. Was my math off? Yeah, 17 years.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
and travel has
yeah.
changed quite a
Oh
bit.
yeah. Oh, it's amazing how it's changed.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch some of our older videos because
Mhm.
one thing I always pride about my stuff is I don't focus on like here's a restaurant you need to go to or a
Mhm.
hotel to stay at because those things change. So I really
Mhm,
focus
yeah.
on it's going to be food. Here's the traditional food from there you should try.
Mhm.
Here's the cultural things, the stuff that stays over the long term. But you see some
Mhm.
things kind of changing over time, and it's funny. Like I'll look at some of the older videos and I'll be like, oh, look at the clothing, look at the it's funny, like when the first, iPhone 1, 2, 3, people took occasional pictures through 5, 6. Now it's like people literally recording the whole time,
Mhm, mhm.
like for anything. And you're like, okay, that's really changed how people do things. Like I remember when people would come with their iPads and hold their
Ah,
iPads
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and stuff. And it's like, oh, that's so nice. I mean, we were in the Bahamas and I took my old school. I actually have it here. Yeah, I took my old school Fuji underwater camera.
Oh,
So
nice.
when my kid's like, what is that? I'm like, this is an old school camera. He's like, huh. Funny thing was, the thing didn't work when we were there. I thought we filmed all this
Mm.
underwater stuff. No, everything above
Aw.
water film, nothing underwater. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But
Aw.
like, I had that just from way back in the day. But now,
Mhm.
now I get a little Ziploc bag thingy. You put your phone in there, boom, you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like how it was. I remember back when we used to do like, oh, hidden gem videos. Like here's
Mm-hmm.
some place you don't maybe not think about. Now there's so much content out there. There really is no hidden places anymore.
Yeah. No.
So
Yeah.
I mean, if they're making a video of it being hidden, it's not hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in one way, well, one way it's nice because now if you want to go places, there's always something to help you out. I mean, that's one thing. Like we were in Rwanda when we went to Rwanda a few years ago. Like there was no content on Rwanda. It was just about the genocide, and so we didn't know it too.
Mm-hmm.
Even we got guidebooks and stuff. There's just a little bit of stuff there. We went there, and it was an incredible experience. So for us, it was like a new kind of thing. And so like making the videos there for people to feel comfortable because the genocide from 30 years ago, people were like, that's all they ever heard about was the genocide.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they're like Hotel Rwanda. I'm like, that was 30 years ago. Like it's a whole different world now. Like you can really see a lot. The people were wonderful. You know, it was just a amazing experience. But it's interesting how you like now there's information you can figure these things out. If you want to go to some random island somewhere, or you know, it's really kind of cool because I remember way back before I was making videos, like I was backpacking South America in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You have like your Lonely Planet book, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, I'm getting off of this town, and they have 2 pages. One, there's a hotel. We'll see what happens. You know, get a hotel room, but now it's not. Now you got to like plan it out more.
Yeah. And you're talking about Lonely Planet book. They're already like the long version of things.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
about 2 pages.
Yeah, because you know you go because I backpack all throughout South America, so I wouldn't get like the Brazil book. I get the South America book,
Mm.
but it had like the Brazil section and then the small. So you're
Uh,
like, hey, we like, hey, they have a hotel there. I mean, I remember one. Where was it? It was the very north of Brazil, Natal,
mm,
the north of Brazil, and they had like 3 hotels in there. It was like high end, because I was like just out of my master's, and so I was like, I didn't have much money. It was like high. It was like high end, and this other one. And I
mhm,
went to the other one, and the taxi driver's like, "Are you sure you want to go there?" I'm like, "Well, it's in the only plan, so it's probably okay." And I got there, and the guy's like, "I could take you someplace else." And I was thinking the guy was trying to scam me.
uh-huh.
But then I got there, I'm like, I checked out, I got the stuff. I'm like, yeah, I completely understand what the guy like. Why is like, are you sure, dude? So
Mm,
yeah, you know, the adventures were different then.
mm-hmm. So all these years, like, how did you develop all these wisdom? Because there must be new places for you too.
Oh, there's like for me, one thing I love is whenever I go to a destination, especially places I
Mm-hmm.
haven't gone. Like I've gone to a lot of places over the years, so now it's like I have a rough idea before I go. But if it's a new
Mm-hmm.
place, it's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna talk to any of my friends, like if they've gone there. I'll talk to like I'll reach out to our fans that are from different countries. Like, is there anything you want to make sure I'm
Mm-hmm.
mentioning? Because like I'll have my list of stuff. Like I'll do my research, have my things, and I'm like, okay, I have that idea. And then when I end up going to the destination, I want to see like what my research says, if it was my experience, and then I film after all of that. But I always make sure it's like, hey, is there something you would want me to talk about? Is there something you want me to
Mm-hmm.
mention? And sometimes you don't really think about it. Then other times, like, hey, I was in the Bahamas. They're just like, hey, could you just tell us that we're not the Caribbean? Yeah, because they feel it's like an insult. We're in the Atlantic.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
you could
yeah.
just mention that because people are like Caribbean. You're like, we're not in the
Uh-huh.
Caribbean. We're in the
Uh-huh.
Atlantic. I'm like, okay. And sometimes it's something like that. Other times, yeah, like Chicago, people are like, stop telling people we eat deep dish
Deep dish
pizza. We
pizza,
love
yeah.
tavern style pizza. I'm like, yes, you do. But if you want to know officially, that probably the number one selling pizza in Chicago is probably Domino's. Okay, so you know, like the thing is, we're looking at like old school traditional stuff, and I'll make sure I put that in. Like, hey, tourists, you'll get the deep dish and Chicago indication, but they prefer the tavern style, the thin crispy crust stuff. So it's kind of different. So it's kind of like that because you'll get people that'll be like, hey, have you checked out this destination? Like, there's there's a couple cities in Italy that I have some people that are literally they'll send me stuff every day. When are you gonna come film? When I'm like, I've been there. I didn't film when I was there, but I was there, and I mean, so it's kind of hard to go back because so like one's Bergamo, and the guy's like, please come, please come. I'm like, I will get there, I will get there, don't worry.
Mm.
But it's funny, like every day I know I can go on, there'll be a little thing about Bergamo they'll send to me, and it's just like, you know, it's so sometimes like, you know what, I will check it out. And that's the
Mhm,
thing is like that's why I love when like other travelers reach out because then it's
mhm,
like, hey, have you thought about this or have you done this? Because sometimes, especially when it comes to like topics for like advice videos, because I've traveled so much, you know, I don't think, hey, what's it like going through customs? What's it
mhm,
like? You know, like I did a couple of videos, like where literally it was like, what's it like flying abroad? Because they
mhm,
didn't know. I'm like, okay, so
mhm,
you're going to check in, but you got to have your passport. It needs to be at least 6 months valid. Oh, then they're like, how do I get a passport? I'm like, oh, wait, we
mhm,
got to go back to like, how do we get a passport?
mhm,
All right. So like trying to figure those things out. And then, but I still remember like there's people ask us like, they were scared, like, do we have to like, do they check us on the plane, like on the buses or something? I'm like, no, no. What you're gonna do
Mm,
is when you land, you're gonna follow the signs for passport control, border crossing. You're gonna follow the signs. Just everyone's going there. Don't worry. If you're gonna get off there, and I asked you, you're gonna get off there, then you're gonna look for this. If you're gonna connect, you're gonna do this, but you're gonna go through the passport control. They're gonna ask you typical questions. How long are you gonna be here? Where are you gonna stay? I mean, so it's like, make sure you have like your reservations on your phone, you have your stuff there. So it's like, let's go through these. Because like for me, it's second nature. Like I already have the app,
yeah.
like in the app, I have my itinerary.
Mhm.
But like when you've done so much, you sometimes forget that, and that's why I like when fans reach out, like, "Hey, could you do that for us?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." This lady wrote was like, "Hey, could you talk about?" It was one of the like the food allergy videos. So we have
Uh-huh.
one that I filmed, but I just have to produce it. I'm like, "Hey, I have it coming out for you." I'm like, one of the biggest things I told her is one of the biggest things you do. Go online. You can buy like with your allergy, you can buy like laminated cards for all these different languages. So when you go to a restaurant, you don't have to try to explain what celiac is or whatever.
Mhm,
Just
mhm,
give them this, like, okay, they'll say like what you can't have, all kinds of stuff. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't know about that." Yeah, so I did, send her the link, and so
mhm.
I gotta make sure I get that video out for her. So
So by traveling and then doing exchanges with your fans,
yep,
and obviously just, practicing common sense, I feel like when you're traveling, there's a lot of that.
yeah. Sometimes common sense isn't quite as common as we would like it to be.
I think I started watching the do's and don'ts, love hate
Yeah,
one, and then I watched more of the don'ts
yeah.
recently. Was there something that's like sparked you to like focus on the don'ts? I know the Italy experience inspired you to
Mhm.
produce these honest
Yeah.
advice, but like the don'ts, like all the bad behaviors.
Well, yeah, and that the thing is, when I started making the donuts, so like how it's kind of worked. The first videos that really took off were these 5 love and hates.
Mhm.
And it's more like 5 loves and 5 mild annoyances most of the time, but it's the internet. No one like loves
Mhm.
mild annoyances. So the title is important. So that was one. And then I did a video on like culture shocks in China. And it didn't do millions of views. It did like it did way better than other kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So, and the culture, it was like fun culture shocks. So it's kind of like the love and
Mhm.
hates was kind of more serious. And the culture shocks is more the
Yeah.
fun little things. Like
Yeah.
when you go to the Bahamas, don't be surprised if you go swim with the pigs, because literally there's an island you can go to and you can swim with pigs,
Mm.
but it's not everywhere. And so it's like fun things like that. And then it was like I felt like my 5 love and hates were kind of limiting me, like, because I'm like, I want to get more
Mhm.
information. So then I went into
Mhm.
these don'ts, and I always like to keep things positive. Though a lot of
Mhm.
people will go
Yeah.
to our don'ts videos and be like, "Oh, you're gonna say something bad," and then you're like, "Oh, you actually say good things." Yeah, because
Mhm.
when I talk about don't forget to do this, or don't forget to watch out for that, don't forget to eat this, and then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, and don't forget about the crime in this part of town you wanna avoid." People like the locals aren't as upset, because you start giving bad, like,
Mm.
talking mean
Yeah.
about things, people get upset, like, "Hey, I'm trying to give it both sides," and that's
Mhm.
one thing I really love is those don'ts videos, like, locals will watch them like, "Hey, that's a really good job," like,
Mhm.
respect,
Yeah.
like, "Hey, nice," and that kinda went from there, and then, like, as I kept developing stuff, I have, like, a series called The Mistakes of the destination you're gonna go to. Like, I'll be filming The Mistakes of Berlin, my next trip to Berlin, I'm going there next year.
Mhm.
They'll be out, but these are like the little mistakes, like the little things people don't think about. Like, oh, yeah, you don't think they're gonna check your public transportation ticket until the guy shows up.
Oh.
Like, it's not like things that most people won't think about, but it's like, okay,
Mhm.
you've done the don'ts, you got the most important stuff. Now, here's the little things out there that kind of like
Mhm.
help you not make the little mistakes. So it's you're gonna be traveling more often. Because people were asking me for like, hey, you got these things, can you go more in depth? So like the mistakes were a little bit more in depth, right? And so you have that. And then I've got some new series I started. I haven't even released any of them yet. So hey, you're here. Well, first to hear about it.
Mhm.
One, it's like unwritten rules. So this is unwritten cultural rules about going places that you might not think about.
Mhm.
And sometimes these are things that like doesn't work for a shock or a don't, but I think it's important for people that really want to know the culture. Like I don't want to offend people.
Yeah.
Or I don't know like this. So we have like the unwritten rules of going to France and Germany, these things. We got those. And then
Mhm.
I've done all these like what to know before you go, but I'm like, you know what? What do I wish I would have known before I went? So
Mhm.
instead of the general, like, here's the money, do you need a visa? Here's the transportation. It's like, oh yeah. I wish I would have known when I went to Portugal that nothing they put on the plate is free. So if they put bread in front of you, you're literally paying for every piece. Every pat of butter, you're paying
Mhm.
for that. Like, oh, right. And so there's other little things like the unwritten rule, like don't ever compare things, Portugal, don't compare it to Spain, because they say nothing good comes from that direction, like, all right. So more like internal culture things. Like if you're in Illinois, like I'm from Illinois in the US, but if you go to other states, some people say, oh, Illinois with an S at the end, because it has an S at the end,
Mm,
it's silent. And it's like,
mhm.
yeah, if you want people to respect you in Illinois, don't say Illinois. It's like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
don't be like, because Siri said it that way. No, Siri was wrong. So it's like just little things like that. But it's also, I think the unwritten rules, it's another place where I can put some safety things in there. Like someplace when
Mm,
you're going to South America, people are like, oh, it's not safe anywhere. I'm like, no, there's safe places. But
mm,
honestly, one of the unwritten rules, whenever you're at the hotel, get the map and then have the people go, here's the sites, but hey, where should I make sure I don't go? Where do I need to be more careful? And they'll circle it for you. They're like, oh yeah,
mm,
this part here, don't go there. We were in Bogota. In Bogota, yeah, Colombia, everyone's usually scouts. Colombia, oh, the drugs they're going to the narcs gonna get you. I'm like, Colombia's
That was in your video.
yeah, Colombia's fine. Yeah, but like
Mm,
it's one of those things like, hey, but you gotta know there's bad parts of town. Like, dude, there's bad parts every town. And people like to
everywhere.
think,
Yeah.
oh no, it's like there's nothing wrong in my town. No, there's parts you don't go to everywhere. And so
Mm,
little things like that to ask make things a lot easier on you. So there's that there. So that's those I kind of wish I would have known beforehand, and I've written things. So those are two new
mhm.
series that we have coming out in the new year, in
Nice.
2026, because it's Chris. We're when we're filming this, it's
Filming.
not when
Yeah.
we're filming this and recording this, it's not peak travel season. So I want to get those out when people are thinking
Mhm,
about travel. Because that's one of the
mhm.
tough things is like, if you're in like travel content, people don't think about travel from like end of September through literally like until the day after Christmas on the 26th. No joke. The 26th of December, our views triple.
Really?
Because it's like everyone's done with their family. I'm done with it.
Uh-huh.
Get me on vacation. Like, and for like the
Uh-huh,
next two
uh-huh.
weeks, it's like gangbusters
Mm,
with people looking for
mm,
destinations, searching stuff. So I've got a
mhm.
bunch of videos that are going to come out at the end of December. That's really geared towards people getting ready for that summer trip. Like, hey, how do I have that conversation with my family about this trip?
Oh,
Or
wow.
if like, let's say, Sharon, you and your girlfriends want to go on a girls trip. Like, hey,
Mhm.
what are things we need to talk about beforehand? It's like
Mhm.
you always have to have the money question, but sometimes do we bring the friend that brings the drama? Like these kind of
Mm.
conversations, so they don't think about.
Ah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
so my wife filmed that with a friend of hers because they travel all the time
Mhm.
together, and they don't always travel with some of their other friends
Mm.
for that reason. I also have
Yeah,
some friends. I'm like, I love you, but I love you.
yeah. Like, I had traveled to Europe with just girls
Mhm.
when, like, I first visited Europe. I swear not to do that ever again.
Well, and that's it. You got to live and learn. Like that's one thing I've
Yeah,
loved about our videos because like we make mistakes. We do things just to try things. But
yeah.
if I can make that mistake and then I can share with someone else, so they don't make that mistake, so they give a better time.
Mhm.
That's what we're doing. We're trying to help people out.
Yeah. So I have so much respect and admiration for what you're doing
Oh, thank you.
because
That's very nice of you. Thank you.
I am a big fan of respecting the culture,
Yeah.
and we've all seen it over tourism, not just Japan, in a lot of places, and they're just doing things that just make the locals. That's why the locals are reacting the way they did.
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. It's like there's for me. What's funny is I do a lot of videos to help people not do those things, but I'm like,
Mm.
but the people that are watching our videos are not the people that are going to do that anyway. They're
Yeah.
watching. I mean, that's one of the reasons why. Like, I have. So starting the new year, hey, another thing for you. Starting the new year, we're putting out literally three like those vertical short videos, reels and stuff every
Mhm.
single day through the first 3 months of the year, just because there's so many bad travel hacks and like on TikTok and Instagram that you'll see people like, oh, I do this trick all the time. Like, no, you're not, because you get banned from the airlines. Like I've seen
Mm.
so many of these things, like the ones who are like, oh yeah, buy all three seats. It's like that. Well, I think they call it like
Yeah.
poor man's first class. You buy all three seats and then you
Uh-huh.
cancel the tickets, like 10 minutes before takeoff. I'm like, dude, there's so many people on standby. Those seats aren't going to be taken. And like, if you do that more than once, like the airlines know this and then you're going to get banned. And they're
Mhm.
always like, well, we do it all the time. I'm like, the internet lies, people. That person does not do that. It's like, and there's like for your UK fans, there's like the Ryanair hacks. Oh yeah, I'll go and book. I don't want to have to pay for an aisle seat, so I'll go and book 10 tickets while I'm at the airport, and then it holds them for 10 minutes, and then that's when I go in on another window, and then I book my ticket because there's no seats available, so I have to get that one that they give me, and then I get it, and then I cancel the other ones. I'm like,
Mhm.
dude, that is way more complicated than the 15 pounds for the ticket. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
come on. You know, and they're
Mhm.
not doing it all the time, but they seem like they are.
Yeah.
I've talked to people at airlines like, no, we find out you do that, you'll be like not
Mhm.
flying with us. But they don't mention those things because it doesn't get 'em millions of views.
Yeah, it's a hack, but it's not a like, it's just inconsiderate hacks.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I want considerate travelers. Like that's the reason why people get upset with over tourism.
Mhm.
I mean, well, one, the housing thing with the Airbnb, VRBO, apartment rental stuff, like I can understand that. Like housing affordability
Mhm.
is a huge issue, especially in
Mhm.
tourist cities out there. I understand that completely. But people blaming tourists for that. I'm like, well, that's also, you elected a government that's supposed to look out for you and they didn't. Like that's the whole thing there. That's why with Barcelona, like, hey, we're not letting any more of
Yeah.
these coming. We're going to close them down. Hey, there you go. Your government's making a difference. But and also, their anger they have at that is directed towards tourists because that's an easy scapegoat because they're not going to be there tomorrow. So I could shoot a
Mhm.
water gun at them. But also, like I took students to Barcelona during those protests and stuff. And
Oh, really?
oh yeah, but my students, we were
Mhm.
there for like 12 days and we're going to
Mhm.
city festivals. We're hanging out with locals. Zero people were complaining because my students acting respectfully, trying to speak some
Mhm.
Spanish, a little bit of Catalan. They're going to the local festival. They're not like doing the like, oh, look at me, selfie kind of stuff.
Mhm.
They're being respectful. And if you're doing that, people are gonna be okay with it. Like that's one thing I always laugh at when people are like, oh, I never want to tell people I'm American. I'm like, nobody cares where you're from. If you're a respectful tourist, people will treat you great no matter where you go in the world. Like I've
Mhm.
seen this everywhere I go. I've been like everyone's been super nice because you're a good tourist. You'll be fine. It's just if you're
Mhm.
not a good tourist or you're being disrespectful, it's there's simple things you can do. Just learn the pleases and thank yous. How to say good day when you walk into a store. You say bonjour in France or buenos dias in Spain or bon dia in Brazil. Everyone's like, oh, because they'll know you don't speak the language, but they know you tried. And all of a sudden
Mhm.
you're the greatest tourist ever.
Like you pointed out, it's unfortunate that the people who need to watch your videos are not the people watching
I know.
your videos. But yeah, like, 'cause I am an American living not in the US now, so when I travel, well, they won't guess that I'm American, first of all, because obviously. But when they started talking,
That's what I love about America. Everybody can be American. So there's no
yeah.
well, you don't have a cowboy hat on? Where's your cowboy hat and cowboy boots, damn it. If you don't have those and you got your eagle tattoo right here, right, with American flag.
Yeah, there's so many I know you have one video about, like, how to spot Americans,
Yeah.
and there are actually many threads I've seen
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
spotting Americans, but those are, like, not so great things.
Yeah. Well, the fun thing is sometimes you can do that for other tourists as well. Like I've talked like, oh, talking about reaching out. Like I've had so many is from Orlando and New York where a lot of German
Mhm.
tourists go. And waiters will reach out to me and hoteliers will reach out to me. It's like, could you please put in your video for German tourists coming to the US that we do not put out ham and cheese slices like cold cuts for breakfast here. We do pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, not that. And so the hoteliers will get yelled at by the Germans. Why don't you have cold cuts? That is a real breakfast. I don't want dessert for breakfast. I'm like, well, we have the other 99% of the people in the hotel actually do eat this, and that's what we have here. Or then the waiters are like, the Germans, they're like, oh, we would fight who would not get the German tourists because they'd make us do a lot of work. And then they tip us like 2%.
Mhm.
And they'd be like,
Mhm.
you should be happy I gave that to you. So it's very interesting. Like the comments on my videos about tipping is always interesting.
Of course. There's and I think it's very smart for you to do a positive spin on
Yeah.
your don't video so people don't get too offensive.
Yeah. And then also it helps because if you put it in a positive light, people feel better about it because there's so much negativity out there in the world. Like I'm talking about
Mhm.
negative things, but not all of the don'ts are negative. But it's like, hey, if I can put a good spinner on it, it's not going to stop you from traveling. It's going to open your
Mhm.
eyes because one of the best things is when I teach people these things, then they see it. It's not something that ruins their vacation. They're like, oh, I don't want to pay for that meat and cheese today. Thank you. Obrigado. Like they'll push it away. They're like, hey, I caught that. I caught that. And then it's like it boosts their morale about their trip. Like, I know something about the culture, And so that's what
Mhm.
I love doing is give people that kind of like superpower of being a better traveler.
Mhm. If someone is going somewhere new,
Mhm.
what would you suggest them to prioritize when they're planning their trip?
Well, after looking for Wolters World, putting Wolters World in that destination in YouTube,
Obviously.
watching our videos, I would say just put the destination in, put like what to know before you go. Because a lot of times like videos and a lot of blogs will have a lot of like basic information there that's going to help you out, where it's not them talking about, well, I had a bad time at this, on this trip, or I ate this food here and I didn't like it. It's more like, here's what you need to know. Like getting those basic things in there can really help you out. Also, I would say,
Mhm.
like I said, learn, please, thank you, good day, toilet. You know those? Yes, no. Like,
Mhm.
those 5 or 6 words, you'll be fine. You can communicate with anybody in the world if you know those ones.
Mhm.
Um, but honestly, one thing I really like is I like to find some of like the walking channels that just kind of show the city beforehand. Cause sometimes it's just like, I just want to
Mhm.
have a feel what it's like, especially if there's
Mhm.
places you
Mhm.
don't know. Like we were in,
Yeah.
we were in, Macedonia this summer, and there wasn't
Mhm.
a lot of stuff on Macedonia. And I'm like, I'm not sure what to expect. And so when we come in, I'm like, oh, wow, they really have like hundreds and hundreds of statues all over here. Oh, now I understand the Cope. It was like Skopje 2007. They redid the whole city and like made it
Mhm.
classic, but they put tons and tons of statues everywhere. It's awesome. Like I loved it,
Mhm.
but like how people explained it, I didn't see it. It's like if I would have saw a video on it, that would have been more helpful. But there wasn't a lot of stuff out there because
Mhm.
it's relatively new on how they do these
Mhm.
things. But it was like, oh, now I get it. Now I see. It's kind of like if you don't know how to eat the food. It's like, what's some of the more common foods that are there? And you're not sure how, like you see, like, well, how, do I use my hands? Do I use a fork? Do I use chopsticks? What do I do here? Like sometimes
Mhm.
just those little things can be like a little fun thing and get you kind of excited for like, ooh, I want to have that food when I'm there.
Mhm. You were saying the unwritten rules.
Mm-hmm.
The country that came to mind was Japan
Yeah.
immediately because there are so many of them, even for people who are not tourists. And it reminded me of a funny story. My friend just a couple months ago,
Yeah.
she thought she was stripped because they charged her for appetizers that they didn't order, but it wasn't free. And I told her, "Oh, I know that's a standard thing. Like especially when you order alcohol." And it just made her so happy. So I wish she knew
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
because it wouldn't have ruined her mood.
Exactly. And I've had people that have written me and they're like, there's one, I mean, he's watched our videos for lots of stuff. He's like, I hate Italy. I will never go back. Whenever we make an Italy video, he always comments like, never go there. I'm
Mhm.
like, because basically what
Mhm.
happened was he felt like he got ripped off because he had to pay the Coberto, like he paid the €2 per person to sit. And then like,
Mhm.
and
Like
he
the
goes
bread
like, I thought it
fee
was
kind of thing.
free. And so he was
Mhm.
so upset. I'm like, wait, you went to the Vatican, you went to you went to the Colosseum, you went to the you had all this great time there, but you're focused on that one thing and you hate Italy because of that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
if I could have, like, if you would have watched our videos before that, like, then you wouldn't have been, like, you would hate Italy for the rest of your life. And that's one of the things that I'm like trying to help people, especially like, people get robbed and they get pickpocketed when they're on the trips. I'm like, hey, don't let it ruin your trip. I know it sucks. Like,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
sucks. Like, it's happened to my wife before. It's like, oh, we got to get a new ID. We got to, it just sucks.
Mhm.
But you know what? Don't let it ruin the whole trip because the same stuff can happen to your hometown.
Yeah.
Because like some people associate it with the whole country, like sometimes just bad luck.
Mhm.
And just okay, you know what? It's gone. You can take the pictures again. You can go back and see these things again. You have the memories, and everyone takes thousands of pictures, but we all go look through our picture roll again? Maybe not, So it's like, just don't let it like ruin it for you. Cause that's where I've seen people and I feel so bad because
Yeah.
like something about, and sometimes it's like, oh, I hurt my ankle or I fell, or
Mhm.
I got sick from the food and then like turn it like, oh, I'm never going to go back there again. Like a friend of mine, he took it the right way. We were in Portugal and I used to live there and we went out with some of our friends and it was like 3 a.m. And my buddy's like, oh, I would really love the seafood here is amazing. My buddy and another friend who's from there's like, I might be able to get you something. So like 3:30 in the morning, he's finding oysters and mussels and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. But my friend's like, awesome. So he's like, eat some. He
Mhm.
was so sick. Like, I mean,
Mm.
he was in his hotel room for 3 days.
Oh,
Like
that's gonna ruin
the
your trip.
cleaning staff were like, should we get you a doctor? And he's
Mhm.
like, yeah, I learned my lesson. No late night shelf.
Mhm.
But he had the positive attitude with it, though he literally
Mhm.
thought he was going to die because he was so sick from it. But he took it from a positive light, like, okay, live and learn. And like when he was finally back again, he's like, all right, you're Ernesto, I'm not getting that again.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it. You got to take it like in a positive way. Like, hey, you know what? It's an experience. Let's just enjoy it.
Mhm. Yeah. And speaking of that, so you have kids and
Yes.
you travel with your kids, and that takes a whole different level of planning.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
parents, their vacations could be ruined, but I think you and your wife are enjoying traveling with your kids very much.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do?
Honestly, I'm sad when I don't get to take the kids with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're older now. Like my kids, I have a freshman in college and a freshman in high school. So like a 14 and 19-year-old,
Yeah.
so like,
Yeah, that's big.
yeah. So it's not like when they're tiny, you're like, oh, we're all into like my
Mm,
youngest,
mm,
he took his first steps on his own in Paris. You're like, I'm like, dude, that is so cool. And people are like, oh, he won't remember that. I'm like, dude, I remember him.
I
We're like in front of
remember.
the Eiffel Tower trying to get him to walk. And then when he finally did it
Mhm,
by himself, we're in our hotel room and he like
mhm,
crawled around like into the hallway and then comes walking around going, ha ha. And literally, he's like taunting us. Look, I'm walking here,
mhm,
not the famous stuff, just here in our hotel
mhm,
room. I'm like, that little
mhm.
booger. But like, I still remember it like it was yesterday, And you have
Aw.
those experiences. Like, I remember when we would travel when our 14-year-old was a baby, like we were living in Portugal and we went to Italy
Mhm.
and we're in the airport flying back. And the like Carabinieri, like the border guards, they said there's these ladies, they're like, bimbo, which is baby. And like they're literally like, it's a huge line. And in Italy, if you have a little kid, you don't wait in line, that you go
Mhm,
right. But we had I mean, he was like
mhm,
8 weeks old, 9 weeks old. He was baby,
mhm.
like baby. Like we were walking around Rome, people were like, that's a little baby, you know? And so they're like, no, you come with us. And so like it was funny because they're like supermodels and police officers at the same time. And they take like, we will carry the baby through for you. You guys go ahead. So they're like walking like with Louise and everything. It was just like such a great experience. I'm like, yeah, he's not gonna remember that, but we remember it. We talk
Mhm,
about it.
mhm,
And that's one of those things you have those memories. And that's the thing is you have the pictures, you have the videos, these kind of things later on in life. Hey, you did this there, and you have that. Because one of the saddest things I hear, I mean, like we're older now, so our kids are now our friends' kids are starting to have their own kids. They're like, oh well, we
mhm.
got a kid on the way. I guess I might as well burn my passport. I'm like, why? Like you can
Huh?
kids can travel. Like my wife has this great joke. She's like, they have diapers all around the world.
Yeah.
Babies, babies, baby everywhere. Like it's funny. Like we've gone places. Like we'll go to restaurants around. And like when the kids were tiny, like hey, try. We have them try different stuff. Like how
Mhm,
dare you give them that? I'm like, what do you think the kids in India eat? What do you think the kids
mhm,
in Mexico? What do you
mhm.
think the kids in Brazil eat? Like this is normal food. Like we eat normal food. You're giving your kid Doritos. Okay. Don't lecture me on
Yeah.
giving my kid beans, right?
Mhm, mhm,
So that's one of those things. Like kids will be fine anywhere you go. They're more adaptable. Actually, what I've seen, it's the parents that get more freaked out about the travel than the kids.
mhm.
Because the kids,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
a road trip and a plane trip are the same thing. Put them in the car
yeah.
seat and go. It's a long drive. Give them their little
Mhm,
devices or put on a Bluey or whatever, and everything will be okay.
mhm. Wow, like, I remember watching videos when they were really little, and now they're 19
I know. Oh
and
man, so
14.
I've got a new series of Paris videos coming out because it was like the videos were so old. It's like they not make new ones, and I'm like, wow. And so I told my editor, I was like, hey, use some of the like stuff from 2012 when Caleb and Liam were like baby and toddler. Throw that in and then cut it to them like fighting each other 10 years later in front of the Eiffel Tower and then cut to when we were there last year. So it's like you see all the difference. Like, look, we've been going with our kids all the ages. And then I
Mhm,
think that helps people because, for a long time, people thought of us as just like a family travel blogger. I'm like, yeah, we take our kids with us, but it's not we're family travel bloggers. We're just
mhm,
travelers that happen to travel with our kids. And that's one of
mhm,
those things. If you're like, well, how's it going to be different? It's okay. You're taking some diapers with you, but you can get those things there. It's just a little more preparation. And
mhm,
when you see a park, you stop and let them play. Like I
mhm.
always tell people, bring a deck of Uno cards because no matter where you go in the world, everyone knows numbers and colors, so you can play that. And and
Mhm,
we'd always take like a little soccer ball. And Caleb made friends and Lee made friends all over the world, just playing like kicking the soccer ball around in parks and stuff.
mhm,
Or heck, I remember when it was Christmas time and we were in Munich and it was a huge snowstorm, so we were iced in. Like my parents got iced into Prague, and we were like iced in Munich. And
mhm,
so Caleb is before Lee was even born. Caleb was sitting there playing soccer in the hotel lobby in Munich with these two little German kids. They didn't
mhm.
speak any language together, but they had a good time together. So it's like, it's
Yeah.
awesome. And then
Mhm,
that helped us meet the parents who were Germans. They were really nice. So we chatted for a while. So it was pretty nice.
mhm. Yeah, because when I travel, I see families, the parents are really struggling. I guess the kids are not comfortable, maybe.
Well, I think one of the things you have to realize, you still have to parent when you travel.
Mhm,
A lot of
mhm,
people are like, I'm on vacation. I don't want
mhm.
to do this. Like,
Yeah.
no, you got the same consequences. You got to the same things. And the more you travel with the kids, the more they get used to it. It's when it's like the first time and
Mhm.
they're not sure. And then the thing is, like, parents will be like, oh, it's a big deal. We're going to fly. It's a big deal. And so then the kids feel this
Oh,
pressure.
no, no.
If you're acting like you're going to grandma's house, They'll be more kind of like calm about it, because kids feed off your energy. It's like
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
chill, they'll be more chill. I mean, there's no guarantees. Blow ups happen. I have had to clean up blown up diapers on airplanes before. It happens, but it
That
happens. It
happens
literally does
on
happen.
land.
But you just kind of roll with it, and
Mhm.
that's the thing. It's like a lot of times people when they try to do trips with little kids, they're trying to do everything like they're going on a trip when they didn't have kids. Like, no, you have to plan the nap times. You have to plan those things. I understand.
Mhm.
And then when they're like kids, like 3 to 8, like you got to plan things for them. You're going to go to the kid
Mhm.
museum. You're going to go to the science museum that has stuff. You have that. They're teenagers. Okay, we're going to do cooking classes. We're going to have them pick, like with our 19-year-old, like the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. I'm like, hey, look up some place for us to eat. Because he'd look it up
Mhm.
like, oh, here's what I found. This food looks really good. I read the reviews. He was doing the research, like, all right, let's go there, because that's
Mhm.
his restaurant and he has buy-in.
Yeah.
Also, if you get your kids kind of excited about the destination, like hey, here's 3 places we're thinking about going, and you're okay with all 3. You let them choose. All right, you look it up because we're going to go to your place, and then therefore they
Mhm.
feel like they're part of it. Like they picked the destination. Like you want to go here. It's your thing. That gets them to
Mhm.
have more buy-in, have them be a part of it. And that's like adults the same way. Like it's kind of like when people go on trips with grandma and grandma's paying. It's like, oh, it's going to be grandma's trip because she's paying, but they're not
Mhm.
as happy. It was like make sure everybody gets involved.
Mhm.
Have the kids pick some stuff.
Mhm.
There's something there, and then it goes a little bit smoother. Yes, stuff happens, but
Mhm.
stuff happens when you go to Disney World. Like when you're or when you're going to the mall. So
Oh, yeah, like when you go to Target or something. Yeah. So watch your videos, keep an open
keep an
mind.
open mind, watch your videos, and just be prepared for it's Murphy's law. Things will happen.
Mhm.
Go on. Your plane gets delayed. Hey, you know what? They'll get you on the next one. Oh, you missed your train. Well, there'll be another one. Just enjoy, sit down, grab a coffee, wait for the next one. Just
Mhm.
don't let the little things get to you, because if you start focusing on those things, that's what drives you nuts. And so
Mhm.
try not to.
Yeah. Yeah, because I really enjoy traveling. I don't think there's any countries that I will never go back to because I didn't have a good experience.
Yeah.
And I really want people to enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
And with your tips, definitely help people avoid a lot of mishaps.
Fingers crossed.
So,
I try. We try.
yeah. Yeah. Like the things that you can control, the
Yeah.
things that you can avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to play a rapid fire round with you.
All right. Let me stretch out for a bit. Okay. All right.
I don't know if you've covered these in your videos. Let's hope you haven't, because that'll be a surprise.
I'm
All right.
ready.
Are you a window or aisle seat person?
Aisle every time. I'm a chunky guy, and I'm like that way. I only bother one person, and I can like roll my fat out into the aisle.
I'm definitely an aisle seat person too. If you had to pitch one destination, you're selling it in 10 seconds. Which one is it going to be and what's your pitch?
Italy is a place where no matter if you speak Italian or not, the people will fall in love with you and communicate with you, and you're going to have the greatest food. You'll see the amazing culture, and you have the nicest people. So get on that plane and get over to Italy.
Wow, it was literally 10 seconds. Great job. What's your fondest travel mishap that you still laugh about today?
So we were in Rwanda, and so it was my mom, dad, my wife, and my kids were together, and we have a driver, and my son Caleb, he would have been maybe like 13, 14 at the time, and he's like, Dad, I gotta poop. I'm like, all right, well, we're about 30 minutes away. He's like, no, I have to poop now. I'm like, all right, so we're gonna pull over. It wasn't like a safari thing. So like the safari,
Oh,
you gotta
thank
be
God.
careful because they're running. So we're like,
Yeah.
it's like a pseudo state, like highway-ish in Rwanda. Guy pulls over. He's like, there's some trees over there. Go over there. And we see Caleb, and he's like looking around. And he goes to the tree, drops his pants, starts to squat down, and no joke, like in the movies, like a monkey's head pops up, and then another
From
head pops
below?
up, and then a bunch of monkeys pop up. And then Caleb's like,
Oh, no.
Caleb's like trying to like run to the next tree, and then all the monkeys kind of start going after him. So he's like trying to poop while the monkeys are running
Oh,
after him. It's like, oh, my God. So that he like pulls up his pants and runs like, I don't have to go anymore. I don't have to go anymore. It's so funny because we still laugh because it was like watching, like if you saw it now, you'd think it was like an AI thing. So like that doesn't happen, but seeing the monkeys like 1, 2, 3, and then all of them there, and they're like, whoa. He's like, no. He's pulling it. That is very much of a mishap. I'm sure like it definitely scared the poop back into him.
no.
But that is what it just always cracks me up whenever I think about it.
Oh, memories. You
Yeah.
make memories when you
See,
travel.
that's why you travel with your kids, so they can get harassed by monkeys while they try to poop.
Yeah, it's not your mishap.
That's right. If it would have been me, I'd be like, they're gonna kill me. I just give up.
All right, next one. What should we never order on a flight, in your opinion?
Never order on a flight. Well, if you don't have clothes to change into, the pasta, because it always spill on you. You always get something on yourself. But I would avoid anything that's like very heavy because you already
Mm.
feel really bloated because the gas. Then when you land, you'll feel even more gaseous and stuff. That's why, like a lot of times when I'll fly, I might not even take the meal. I might just have that snack before we land because I just don't want to feel bloated and gross. And that's one of those things. But like if you're at the airport and stuff, if you know you have some kind of like I love dairy and I love seafood. But if I put dairy and seafood together, bad things happen to me. So I know never, ever, ever to have seafood before I fly.
Mhm,
So any of those little things, like sometimes my tummy doesn't like that. Never. And like not the day of or the day before. You don't want to take a chance.
yeah. I started not having any raw food before I fly,
Yeah.
like sushi at the airport type thing.
Smart move. Smart move.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing has happened, but I just read read somewhere
Knock on wood.
something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If you had to pick one, what was your best meal when you were traveling?
Oh. Wow, there's a lot of good meals. I think the prettiest meal we ever had was this fish we had in El Salvador. And I mean,
Mm.
the fish, I mean, if you were listening to this on the radio, I mean, it was like 2 foot long fish, beautiful. I mean, it looked like a piece of art, and they had all the fruit going around it and all the side, the
Oh.
plantains. I mean, it was amazing. Like my wife, we had to like order it the day before because it was like one of these super special
Mhm,
things.
mhm, mhm.
And we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And my wife, we got the wrong water that morning. And my wife couldn't, she's like, I can't eat this. I got to go. And so she went and that was a whole other bad experience about like X-Files stuff basically happening. And then I'm like, oh no, poor mom. And we're having it and the food was so good. And then like I had 3 bites and all
Oh.
of a sudden, cause I had some of that water too, just not as much. And I'm like, oh, oh no. Oh no. And so like literally it was X-Files out of everywhere. And then
Uh,
the kids got to enjoy it because they didn't drink the water, and
uh-huh.
like, and those they're saying, well, you should know not to drink the water in El Salvador. We know that. At the hotel, they said, ask us, we will get you the bottled water, the treated water. The person we asked it didn't bring it that time. So that's why we got nailed. But the kids got to enjoy that. But that was incredible. Another really good one. There's this kind of, it's like a chain in Italy, or sorry, in France called Entrecôte. And basically it's steak and fries,
Mhm. So
steak
yeah.
frites. And they literally,
Mhm,
that's all they serve. Like you come in like, what do you want to drink?
mhm.
And then they bring the steak and fries and you're like, oh, and it's
Uh-huh.
just amazing. Like we still talk about, like we took friends to Bordeaux for one of years ago. And still to
Mhm,
this day, they're like, could we go back there just to go eat there? I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, we could
mhm.
do that. We could do that,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But so many good foods over there, so many different things. But yeah, there's been so many
Mhm.
good ones.
Yeah, like there's so many good food, things that are different from your home culture.
Mhm.
And part of the reason why I moved to London is also like so that I'm closer to all these other countries.
Yeah.
So I really want people to enjoy traveling. And I'm so glad you're talking to me today, Mark. It's like meeting a celebrity.
Thank you, Karen. I really love it. It's been a fun chat. I appreciate you inviting me on.
Yeah, and just help people be happier when they travel, and the locals are happier
That's
just
right.
because you're respectful to them.
Amen to that.
Well,
Amen to that.
thank you very much.
Thank you,
Happy
Karen.
holidays. This
Happy
is
holiday to you.
December right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yes, it
And
is.
yeah, so a lot of people may be planning that Christmas travel.
Yes. And you can learn all about places to go and advice on winter travel at woltersworld.com or on YouTube at Wolters World. Or just put in your
Yeah,
destination in YouTube and put Wolters World. We'll pop up on there.
you'll
Just
find it.
look for a bearded bald guy with a ponytail and you'll be like, oh, the chubby guy. That's him. And you'll be fine.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Mind Blend. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to follow and share it with anyone who needs to hear it. And let's keep the conversation going. Connect with me on LinkedIn or leave me a comment. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and let's continue to blend our minds and discover what's possible.